Hi, so I just thought I would do a quick talking to the camera, just kind of thought dump, emotion dump kind of thing. Um, so I kind of wanted to talk about coping mechanisms, uh, especially dealing with chronic illness. But this is pretty applicable, I think, in general, regardless of what your situation is. Um, so when I was sick, a lot worse off than I am now, years ago, um, I was an emotional wreck. Uh, I just think the compounding trauma of dealing with my health and how my health impacted my life and the outside world was too much to deal with. And it drove me insane and caused me to spiral over and over again. And so I just decided that the most healthy way to deal with my emotional state is just to go cold turkey. And kind of like I did with my diet as well. I'm seeing a pattern of my mechanisms is just to go cut things out. But anyway, so I cut out a social life, I cut out friends, I cut out seeing family, I cut out everything. I mean, I couldn't work anyway, so I cut out worrying about work, and uh, it worked. Um, it didn't get rid of my emotional turmoil and my anxiety and depression issues, but it helped take pressure off of myself, and it helped eliminate moments of emotional pain, like not being able to go out with friends if they were going out, or things like that. Making plans with people and then having to pull out because I just couldn't go. And removing myself from those situations was definitely beneficial. Um, there was less opportunity for emotional pain and trauma to resurface and cause the emotional and anxiety spirals I was experiencing regularly. And it helped over the last couple years. It helped me improve because I wasn't in a constant state of stress. Um, and a part of that process was not only cutting things out, but then learning to stop caring and um, learning to process my emotions in a way where I would evaluate whether they were useful or not, or they were conducive to living a life of contentment. And if they weren't, I worked on how to dismiss and discard that emotional reaction, um, which is a very useful tool, but uh, it's also compartmentalizing pain and not necessarily dealing with it. It's just kind of brushing off problems to a degree. A lot of the time, I'm able to realize that something is um, kind of a ridiculous and illogical reaction emotionally, but sometimes there are legitimate emotional responses to pain, trauma, whatever, that I also have to dismiss. And so, that's not the healthiest thing ever. So, anyway, the point of why I'm talking about this now is um, this year has been up and down, and I've hit very short highs, and I've kind of had prolonged, stalled out health situation where I'm not really improving and I'm not doing much better, um, and it's been frustrating. But I've also been recently thinking about how my mechanism of coping with trauma over the years is affecting my ability to push myself, um, because cutting everything out helped. Um, and so the process of reintegrating the things that I cut out is difficult. and I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do these things, and I still don't feel great most of the time, so it's hard to know exactly what I'm supposed to do in these situations. Um, but the other component of reintegrating is the learning to kind of not care about a lot of things, learning to not care about a social life as much, learning to not care about relationships and all these things, because ultimately caring about them only brings pain. And so having that type of block that I've built up makes it difficult to push myself to take, I don't know if it's risks, to take action in certain respects. Um, and I don't know. I just, this must not be an uncommon thing. I assume that there are other people that have this problem as well. I mean, I see that other people will see friends every once in a while or whatever, but I don't know, I don't know what the frequency is, and I haven't seen a friend probably in at least a year. And in the last couple of years, the number of times I've seen people is probably, I can count it on one hand. It's probably less than 5 times in basically 3 or 4 years that I've seen friends. Um, so it's not an easy thing to work back into my life because um, I don't know if I'm going to revert back to being uh, being I don't, the word isn't traumatized. I don't know what the right word is. Being, I guess, triggered. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but I just thought that that would be something to share because it's been kind of bothering me recently, and I just didn't know if other people have that same type of inner conflict. Um, and also, if people who do experience this, if you've found benefit in going to a therapist or a psychologist for this kind of thing, because I'm very hesitant to do that. Uh, I don't like I don't like hearing from people who don't understand, trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. Um, and I'm sure a lot of other people can relate to that, especially my experience of dealing with doctors. Um, so, yeah. So, anyway, that's kind of all I just wanted to talk about. And if you've made it this far, because, oh my God, 8.5 minutes, uh, good for you. Congratulations. And thanks for listening.